onward, onward, onward.
Yes, we
to
go.
The killer. The killer, Jerry Lee.
And he did an album, and I got a kick out of it. It said, "All killer, no filler."
Filler? I didn't even know her.
Yeah. Oh. We'll leave that in because that was good. And it was still clean. Yeah, because, I mean, he was a huge egotist, so it sounds like something he'd do, all killer and no filler.
Yeah.
Before we get into heavily deep into the subject of good old Jerry Lee, may he rest in peace, he once remarked that the greatest regret that he ever had throughout his lifetime was the fact that he could not sit in an audience and enjoy watching his show. In other words, as a member of the audience and not the performer. That's kind of give you an idea of his ego. Well, you know, my biggest regret in life, you know, is the fact that I couldn't sit and watch my own show.
Now, did he mean that in that he didn't have the pleasure of watching his own show?
Well,
or
I'm
that
sure pretty much.
Or he would sit out in the audience and go, "Oh my gosh, how's this guy getting away with this stuff?"
No, I think he meant like this would have been like my biggest thrill was to sit and watch myself in concert, which I mean via video DVD he could, but it's not the same as sitting in the actual audience.
Well, because he really did think he was going to hell for all the music that he was playing and the way he was playing it. Like he wouldn't even. I mean, I sat there in a show and watched him tear a piano to shreds, and this was like with Johnny Cash and a country tour. And I mean, and he would play it with his hands, he would play it with his feet, his elbows, his rear end. Almost
his
said
buttocks.
His buttocks. I mean, and he'd climb up on top of the piano, and my father was just disgusted.
No kidding. I thought your dad would have a bit more open mind about that, knowing that was a southern, southern boy. Fellow Southern boy.
No, he didn't like that kind of stuff. He just, it's like. But then again, here's the thing, though, is that my father was wild when he was a kid, okay? And I have noticed this, is that men who are wild when they are young cannot stand to see wild kids of a later generation. It just drives them nuts. And
sort of an ego thing. I mean, we're getting off the subject here.
I don't know if it's
like I don't
know if it's an ego thing or if it's one of those about just kind of a mirror saying this is what I looked like at one time.
Oh my God, did I look that idiotic? Did I look that?
Yeah. They would. Everybody was in a frenzy.
Oh yeah.
And of course, we would be remiss about we were talking about that some of these artists would not have progressed. In Jerry Lee Lewis's case, his rock career kind of ended with kind of Myra Gale Brown.
His 13-year-old cousin that he married.
First cousin once removed that he married. Right. That he married, yeah. Yeah, that
was not unusual in the South at the time. I'm surprised there was such a reaction to it because she was his. Well, she was his third wife, and his other two wives, even though he might have been in his late teens, early 20s, they were under the age of 16. I mean, his second wife was 15.
To marry, yeah.
Well,
Didn't
I remember.
He have to go to England to
No, he got married
because...
here first, but there was some question as to whether he was divorced from his second wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he announced in England that he got married, and the English are like, they were just like shocked and disgusted, and they pretty much, just gave him the business his entire tour while he was in England, and then came back, and the song High School Confidential, which started out very well, ended up stalling at like number 21 because of the fact that controversy. It could have probably kept rising because it encapsulated what teenagers were doing and going to high school and stuff. Mm-hmm. But because of the flack and the negative feedback he took because of the 13-year-old bride business, ended up ultimately hurting him. So and there, I think I had mentioned it once before, but I'll bring this up again. And I never knew this, is that Jerry Lee didn't sell a million albums on one of it, or have a million selling album or LP until he was age 77, and it was 77. Like 10 years ago. Yeah, he was 77 years old.
Oh wow!
And
what was the name of that one?
Ironically, was called Last Man Standing, and it was named that because he was remembering himself as the only remaining member of the $1 Million Quartet, which was Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, Elvis, and Jerry Lee.